Hey guys, Justin here with our weekend pickups, and this was not a huge weekend for us by any means, but we definitely didn't strike out either. It was a very mediocre weekend, I guess you could say. So I'm going to start out by showing you guys what we picked up on Friday at the garage sales, our two lonely pickups from Friday. There was a lot of garage sales going on in the area, just not that many that were in our town. I think we went to like 6 or 7 garage sales on Friday, and at one of the first sales we stopped at, Dave picked up a CD. It was The Vines. They're a pretty good Australian band. I don't think they're together anymore, unfortunately, but it ended up being their first album, and it was actually pretty good, so maybe I'll throw some of the songs from it up behind this video right now in the background. But at the last sale we stopped at, I found a copy of Air Hockey for the PS1, because the PS1 desperately needed an air hockey game. But it is complete. The disc is in good condition, and it was only $1. So I figured I'd pick it up. They had a couple of the PS1 games at the sale, but they were terrible condition, weren't good games anyway, missing manuals, and this was the only one I was willing to pay $1 for. So I got that, and that was it for Friday at the garage sales. Like I said, not a good day, but later that night we were hanging out, and we checked Craigslist real quick, and there's a guy that had posted a couple of Wii games that he was selling. He was selling Super Mario Galaxy and Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and he wanted $20 a piece for them. Wasn't really interested in the Mario Galaxy. I mean, I think GameStop sells that game for $16 or $18 right now anyway. But the Smash Bros, however, we were interested in because, like I've said before, Dave and I play that game all the time with our friends and stuff. But the copy that I have right now actually belongs to a friend of mine, another friend of mine. And obviously I'm anticipating giving that back to him in the near future. So I really needed to pick up a copy for myself. And so like I said, the guy wanted $20 for it. I called him up, got him down to $15, and we drove out right away and went and picked it up. And here it is right here. It is complete in here. Good condition. I was really happy to get this for $15. I was just going to pick one up on eBay. It goes for like $25, sometimes $30. So really happy to get it for $15. That was a good deal there. So that was everything we got on Friday. Now Saturday, though, Saturday was a much better day. We got up and actually, the first sale we went to, I'm not going to show it, but I bought a trumpet, like a legit brass trumpet. And I bought it because it was marked for $10. I got it for $7, and musical instruments like that are not cheap by any means. So I knew it was worth considerably more than that. That's why I picked it up. I was considering doing a little jingle for you guys. I used to play the trumpet or the cornet back in middle school. I was never that great at it, but I figured maybe I could learn like a video game theme song and play it for you guys or something. But something about putting my mouth on something that I find at a garage sale is like, ugh. So maybe next time. But anyway, the next sale we went to, we were pretty excited to go to because online they were advertising, they were selling video games. We had no idea what kind of video games or whatever, but we stopped by, and unfortunately it was nothing retro. It was modern stuff. It was actually an Xbox 360, and then that came with the power brick here, and the AV cord. And then, what is this, like an Ethernet cord or something? All that was marked for $5. Sounds like a great deal. However, underneath the $5 price, they had written RROD, which obviously Dave and I knew meant, Red Ring of Death. So the system didn't work. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even have a hard drive in it. Someone took that out. So obviously it was a non-working system. And the only reason I was willing to pay $5 for it is because I knew that the power brick, these go for like $15 or $20 on eBay alone. So I knew right there that it was a good deal. But something kind of bothered me about this. It said $5 RROD. Now, what if like a mother or something that didn't know much about video games had come to this garage sale and purchased this for their kid without knowing, what RROD meant? Because obviously, let's face it, not everybody knows what that means, obviously. So it just kind of bugged me, that they didn't say non-working or something on the price tag, So I figured, of course, when I took it up to pay for it, that the lady would mention something. She would say, oh, that's, RROD, it doesn't work. But I took it up there, I gave her the $5 for it, I'm not going to haggle that, and she just took the money and walked away, and I was like, she's pretty lucky that Dave and I were the ones that bought this as opposed to someone who didn't know much about the system and had bought it for their kid only to find out that it didn't work. I mean, it was only $5, but still, like, try not to be deceiving, right? Not working on the price tag or something. But regardless, $5 for that. Like I said, the power adapter alone is worth 3 times that. So Not sure what I'm going to do with the system. I really, I'm not going to try to fix it. Dave actually has one that has the same problem. He's already fixed his countless times, so it's hopeless. So I think what we're going to do is just bundle them together and see how much money we can get for them. Because, I don't really want an Xbox 360 even if it works anyway. So $5 though for that was a pretty good deal. So we left there and we were on our way to our next sale that we had on our list to go to. And we saw the one on the side of the road that wasn't even on our list. And we're really glad that we stopped because it ended up being a pretty good sale. Walked up and at first we saw just like a bunch of Pokemon cards and stuff, but then under a tree, like in the shade, was a Wii, and this kid was selling his Wii. He wanted like $75 for it, so obviously we're not going to pay that. But he had a couple of games that he was selling individually. One of them was like Wii Fit. I don't know if it was Wii Fit. It was one of like the Fit games. It had the board with it and everything. And I don't know how much he wanted for that, but he also had another game that he had marked for $15, and wouldn't you guess it, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I actually ended up getting this for $10 from this guy, and complete. That would happen, right? The night before, I go drive way out somewhere to pick up a copy for $15 from a guy, and the next day I find it and I get it for $10. Whatever. I'm not gonna complain though because those were both great deals for the game. I'm gonna just keep the better condition one and sell the other one, just to get my money back from the deal and probably make a couple bucks in the process. So. I ended up with the game and some money in my pocket, so that's I'm not gonna complain. It's just funny that the night before I had gone out and picked it up, but whatever. We also found in a box of books they had Pokemon Platinum version, the guide, and this thing is thick. I mean, look at that. This is like a Stephen King novel, and I mean the reason it's so thick is because it's got all the stats for the Pokemon and stuff in it. But this is Dave's favorite Pokemon game. So he wanted this. This is only $1 too, so we picked that up. They didn't really have any other gaming-related books. I think they might have had one other Pokemon book, but it wasn't, it was nothing we were interested in. So got that for $1. And the next two things I'm going to show are probably, I think, the coolest things that we picked up all day. They're not even games or systems or anything, but check these out. We got a Crash Bandicoot, stuffed animal plush doll thing here. And then I also got this one. Sonic the Hedgehog character. I believe her name is Amy Rose, I believe. Premiered in Sonic CD, I think, and then she was in games after that too. But yeah, I mean, I thought these were so cool, and I can't believe they were only 50 cents a piece. I was so happy, to have these. Like you guys saw, might have seen in one of our previous videos a long time ago. I picked up a Sonic that was, similar to this, the Sonic the Hedgehog. So those are going to look really cool together, and this is just cool. So I don't know where they came from, maybe like a fair or something, like they were a prize or something, I don't know. But 50 cents a piece for those, I was really happy. I was really excited after we found these. Very, very cool. And that was all that we got at that sale. Now, we were driving around, stopped at a few more sales, wasn't having any luck. Then we came up to one that had a box of games, and unfortunately, again, nothing retro. It was all modern games today, but I got they had a small stack of PS2 games. They had a bigger stack of Xbox 360 games and some PS3 games. So I'll show you guys what we picked up. We got Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And what's cool about this is that it is fully complete. I mean, it's got the map in there, the manual. This is in good shape. Got that. Now this I've never even seen before. It's a Final Fantasy game. I don't even know what Final Fantasy this is. I'd never seen it before. Thought it might be worth something, but it's like a $10 game. But it is complete inside of there. Also, Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X-2. Now this is the third copy of Final Fantasy X-2 that I found at the garage sale so far this year. This game is just everywhere. I don't know, but it's cool to have the pair of them there. And then Silent Hill 2. Now when I saw this, I got so excited. I was under the impression that the Silent Hill games were worth a lot of money, and turns out this is like a $5 or $10 game or whatever. But I think the ones on the PS1 must be the ones that are worth more money, because I know some Silent Hill games must be the PS1 games that are worth money. But I got that, and then probably the best game I got was Monster Rancher 3, and unfortunately it's missing the manual, but and the case that it came in was really beat up, and I actually switched out the case because the disc was sliding around. I didn't want it to get scrapped, but this is like a $20, $25 game, I think, on eBay. So I was really happy to find this. I got all of those PS2 games for $3, so total 50 cents a piece for those. So that was a great deal there. And then I said they had some Xbox 360 games. They had a bunch of sports games and stuff. And they were selling their Xbox 360 games and PS3 games for $5 each. And I got, I don't even know what this is either. Final Fantasy, I think that's 11 maybe? I don't know. I'm bad with Roman numerals, but it's the online one or whatever that is. So I got that. And I actually just got the case and manual for Grand Theft Auto 4. Yeah. Didn't have the disc in it, and I made sure to tell them that. They just gave me the case for free. They were going to throw it out, so I was like, I'll take it. And then, let's see, the PS3 games I got here were Dante's Inferno Divine Edition. This one's complete inside of here. And greatest hits copy of Demon's Souls. And I think this is like a RPG. Yeah, best RPG of the year. It won sometime or another. It's complete inside of there. So like I said, they're selling the Xbox 360 games, PS3 games for $5 a piece, which that's more than I like to pay for a single game. But that was I mean, that's a fair price for these games. That was a little less than half of what they're worth, I think. So that was, I mean, I was willing to pay that. I actually only had $16 to my name at this point. I had $16 in my wallet, and that's it. And I think I grabbed like $18 worth of games. And so I was like, you know, can I get them for $16? And he said that was fine. Plus I got the free Grand Theft Auto case. So all that for $16. I thought was a great deal. They also had a PS2 fat system there. They were selling for $10, and I had it in my hands, and I was honestly going to buy it. And lucky for me, Dave was looking out for me. He pointed out that it was missing the hard drive. So I'm very glad I didn't buy it, because it would not have worked without the hard drive. So thank you to Dave for pointing that out. I would have got home and been very angry. So I had no money left at this point, and we still had, you know, 5 or so sales to hit up. And we went to the next one just to check it out. And they had a few PS2 games, a bunch of PS1 sports games, and I ended up picking up Silent Hill 3 for the PS2. Again, with the impression that it was worth more than it is, but it's got both discs in there. Well, it's a 1-disc game, so it's got the disc, and then the soundtrack is in there as well, which is pretty cool. This was marked for $3. Dave went to his car to get some change, came back with $2 in quarters, and I got this for $2 in quarters. So Silent Hill 2 and 3 now. Like I said, I thought they were worth more money, but I guess that's the PS1 ones that are worth more. But still, for $2, I thought that was a pretty good deal. And I believe that was it. That was all we got at the garage sales this weekend. Like I said, not a huge weekend for us, but you know, we didn't strike out. We got some pretty good deals. Now, Sunday morning, I stopped up at the Goodwill, like I always do before I go to work on Sunday morning. And it's funny going in there on Sunday mornings because, you know, coming off a weekend of garage sale and you see a lot of stuff, and you walk into Goodwill on Sunday morning and you see a lot of the same stuff because these people, whatever they don't sell at their garage sales, Saturday night they take it up to Goodwill and donate it, and then, you know, they put some of it out the next morning. And so I show up and I see a lot of the same stuff that I saw at the garage sales. It's just funny. But anyway, I did have a little bit of luck at the Goodwill. I actually found this, which is a mess of cords over here, but it's actually pretty cool. It is the Sears Super Video Arcade, and this is actually an Intellivision clone. A little bit of a history lesson here. I guess what happened was, back in the day, Mattel wanted to sell Intellivisions at the Sears stores, but Sears had like a policy that in order to sell stuff in their stores, you had to have the Sears name on it. So either Sears or Mattel made a special, you know, kind of like an Intellivision clone of sorts, which is this. So it is an Intellivision. It is in fact an Intellivision. It plays Intellivision games. It's just the Sears version of it. Kind of like, you know, Atari. Atari had the same thing with like the Telegames and stuff. Like the Sears Telegames, and then they had the Sears 2600 system too. It's the same deal. But yeah, I mean, it's got the, you know, the Intellivision controllers here. I think they feel a little bit cheaper. Ryan has like an actual Intellivision with a bunch of games, and these controllers I think feel a little bit cheaper than the ones he has. But we got that, and then the system here, and you know, I don't know if they're hardwired in. The power cord is hardwired in there. I don't know if the RF cord comes off, but regardless, I got home and I tested it, and sure enough, it does. It is in fact an Intellivision. It works. Both controllers work, so I was happy to get that. I kind of wish it was you know, an actual Intellivision, but you know, for now this will work. It was only $5, so that was a great deal there. So I had that, and I walked over to where they keep the games and had a little bit of luck as well. I stack of Super Nintendo games when I walked over there. And whenever I see a stack of games, my heart starts pounding. I go over, I lift them up one at a time, slowly, savoring the moment. And it turns out there wasn't that many. There was like 5 or 6 games, and they weren't that great. But I ended up picking up 2 of them. I got Hyper Zone and Super Mario World. And these were both $1.99 a piece, which was actually a deal because normally I think they charge $2.99 for their cartridge games. And I actually did not have this game. I thought I did, but I actually did not end up having this game. So this is one to add to the collection, and Super Mario World for $2. You can't pass that up, right? So I had those. I mean, they both got dust covers and everything, so $4 total for those. And then they had, believe it or not, some Game Gear games and some original Game Boy games. I got The Adventures of Batman and Robin for the Game Gear, which I think I already have. I figured Ryan would probably want it, so I picked that up mainly for him. And then X-Men here. Now, I already have the X-Men game for the Game Gear, but this one is X-Men Games Masters Legacy. It says down there. I don't know what the difference is, if any, but I'll have to put this one in and my system and see if they're the same or not. I have no idea. And then I got a couple of original Game Boy games. Star Trek The Next Generation and Kirby's Dream Land. And again, those were both $1.99 a piece as well. So, some luck there. They had a couple other games. They had The Lion King for the Game Gear, which is like one of the most common games for the system. I was going to pay $2 for that. And then they had, I think it was like Shaun White snowboarding for the Game Boy Color or something. But I didn't want that. So I cleaned them out of all like the good stuff they had. So I was pretty happy about that. It was a decent day at the Goodwill. And that was all the pickups that we actually got for the weekend. But I did get something in the mail on Saturday that I kind of want to talk about, and I want to show in this video. I was just going to take a picture of it and throw it up on the Facebook, but I really do want to talk about it because it is something very cool that I'm very glad to own. I guess here's the backstory. I'm kind of going for a complete Virtual Boy collection. I know not a lot of people collect for the Virtual Boy. It's not really much to collect for. I think there was only like 14 games released for it in North America. And so it's not a hard collection to get all the games for. There are a couple of the games, Waterworld and Jack Bros are very expensive games, and especially boxed and complete, so I might have to shell out some money for those sometime down the road. But anyway, like I said, I was going for the complete collection. I was watching a copy of Galactic Pinball on eBay, and it's it was complete in box. I just have the cartridge right now, so I was looking to upgrade it, and it just ended abruptly in the middle of the auction time or whatever. So I messaged the seller and I asked, do you still have this for sale? Can I buy it off of you? And he was like, oh, sorry man, I already sold it, but I do have a copy of Mario's Tennis. It's complete in the box and everything. And my first thought was, Mario Tennis was a packing game with the system. It never had a box. It came with the manual, but it never had its own box. So I messaged him back and I was like, are you referring to the Japanese one? And I have the Japanese one here. I got this real cheap off eBay a while back, like for $4 or something. The Japanese version of the game did have a box and manual, and this is what it looks like. It does play in an NTSC Virtual Boy, but yeah, I asked him, assuming you mean the Japanese one, and he's like, oh, all the writing in the box is in English. I'll send you a picture. So he sent me a picture, and sure enough, it was Mario's Tennis. Complete in box for the Virtual Boy, NTSC version, and I had no idea what this was when he showed me the picture. So I looked it up on eBay. I searched Mario's Tennis Virtual Boy box, and sure enough, there were 2 of them for sale on eBay that looked like this. One guy was asking $180 for it. I know it's not worth that. I'm not saying it's worth that. I know it's not worth that. And then there was another guy on there with one that had a really, really beat up box, no manual, that he was asking $90 for. And so I did a little bit of research, and sure enough, this is not a reproduction box. It's actually a Blockbuster exclusive display box. It says for display only down here. And this was actually the box that Nintendo put out exclusively for Blockbuster, because Blockbuster used to rent out Virtual Boy systems back in the day. I actually have, my Virtual Boy is actually in a Blockbuster carrying case. It's pretty cool. And so this was the box that Nintendo made for Blockbuster so they could display the game on their shelf and advertise it when they rented out a Virtual Boy system. And so you can imagine these are not very common at all. I have no idea what it's worth, but I know it's worth more than I paid for it. The guy was only asking $10 for this, plus like $3 shipping. And it wasn't on like an eBay deal or anything. He just sent me an invoice for it on PayPal, and I paid for it. and I'm just really, I'm happy to have this. It's something not common, and it's going to motivate me to further complete my Virtual Boy collection. It's just a really cool box, and I mean, I can't tell if it's in perfect shape. I don't know if it's sun faded or not. Like the Japanese one here was all colorful and whatnot, and this one's a little more dull. I don't know if it's sun faded or what, but as far as I'm concerned, for a box that was on display in a Blockbuster store, this is as good as you're gonna get. I mean, the box itself is in, you know, decent condition. It's got the Blockbuster sticker on the back here, which I might be able to get off, but to be honest, I'm gonna leave it on there because it is what it is. You know, it is a Blockbuster exclusive display box, and you know that sticker right there just further proves, you know, what it is. And I'll open it up and show you guys real quick the game here in the inserts and stuff. Here's the manual for it. Some other manual here. Some postcard, and then here's the game here. And again, Blockbuster sticker on the back that I could take off very easily, but I'm gonna leave it on there because that's what it is. It was a Blockbuster. It was on display in a Blockbuster store somewhere, and again, I'm just very happy to have this. Like I said, definitely gonna motivate me to complete that Virtual Boy collection, but it's just something that you know, I may have never even known about unless this guy had told me about it. So very, very happy to have that, and that's really all I wanted to talk about regarding that. So that was the pickup video for this weekend. I want to say thank you guys for sticking around and checking out the whole video. And until next video, guys, take care.